2,000 years after the departure of Jesus the Christ. The prophets are back to teach the real Jews, the 12 tribes of Israel, their true nationality. This is their campaign.
So, you know the history of the Taino Indians?
I'm not going to sit here
Not
and
only
say that
Taíno, Carib, Araucano,
Carib, Arawak, or how do you say it? Araucano, right? So those were what they call the indigenous people to that landmass, right? So your forefathers, how did they get, when he was asking, how did they get to Puerto Rico? When time began, did they spawn in Puerto Rico, or did they come from somewhere?
I'm not going to answer that correctly because I haven't done my full research on it.
Okay.
So if you can educate me.
I like that. I like that honesty, and then you said, if you can educate me. That's something that you don't hear a lot. Our people sometimes, that's called being ignorant. When you don't know something, and you say, you know what, I don't need to know. I'll just make it up in my head and go and run with it. So let's see some history of the people in Puerto Rico. So, you know the history, I see your shirt says, but God. What's the meaning of that? Is it like a Christian shirt from your church or something?
Not my church is I believe in God heavily, so I wear things that represent who God is.
Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so today, that's what we're out here for. We're going to talk about who God is. All right, you know the history, so you read the Bible. You know about Jacob, right?
I actually don't read the Bible, I read the Quran.
Huh?
I don't read the Bible, I read the Quran.
Oh, you read the Quran. So you believe in Islam.
I'm open to it.
Open to Islam. All right, do you know about Jacob in the Bible? Remember, Jacob's name was changed to what? Israel. And he had how many sons? 12. He had 12 sons, and his 12 sons made up the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? So we're going to talk about one of those tribes of Israel. One of his sons' names was Ephraim. So we're going to talk about Ephraim real quick. You got me?
Ephraim is a Puerto Rican.
Ephraim today is the so-called, the descendants of Ephraim are the so-called Puerto Ricans today. I'm going to prove that through the Bible and prove that through history. Give me Ephraim.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 22.
So now what we're reading in Genesis chapter 49, Jacob, when he was an old man, he called all his sons, and he said, let me tell you that which shall befall you in the latter days, meaning today, in the last days. He said, in the future, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to each one of you. So now let's read about what he said was going to happen with Ephraim.
Bring it out. Yeah. Joseph is a fruitful bow.
Joseph, remember one of his sons, Ephraim, and see there, Ephraim and Manasseh were actually his grandsons, because Joseph was his son. But he said his promise to Joseph was that you would become two tribes. So that's why we don't acknowledge a tribe of Joseph. Joseph is actually Ephraim and Manasseh, two tribes. So let's see what he said about Joseph.
Even a fruitful bow by the walls.
So he said Joseph is a what?
Even a fruitful bow by the wall.
A fruitful bow. That's what Ephraim means. Fruitful. What do we know? What is a stereotype about Puerto Rican women that we've heard? Fruitful meaning what?
They go out with everybody.
No, not
I
that.
would not say that.
No. What do you mean by fruitful?
My interpretation of that?
Yeah. What does it mean? Are you from Puerto Rico too? Yeah. So what does it mean? What does it mean? What does fruitful mean?
I would say enjoyable.
Think about a woman being fruitful.
It depends what
Pare
you're-
mucho, pare mucho.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends what your outlook is.
So what the Bible's talking about when it says fruitful, a lot of children. That's what we hear all the time, right? Puerto Rican women don't have a lot of children.
Okay.
Right? They get married, them and their husband, they have a lot of children. It's fruitful. That's a blessing. That's what God says is a blessing. That they're very fruitful.
Wow. Wow.
I know. I remember growing up, they used to say if you look at a Puerto Rican woman too long, she's gonna get pregnant.
Right,
So
right,
they're very
right. I guess
fruitful,
that's
right?
in the Bible. I didn't
So
know
let's
that.
read that again.
Joseph is a fruitful boat, even a fruitful boat by a wall.
Even a fruitful bow by what?
By a wall.
By a wall. So that's the prophecy now saying you're gonna have a lot of children. Give me, I want how they got over to this side. So now we established who they are, that Ephraim is the so-called Puerto Ricans. Now let's see how they got, what he asked them for, how they got on this side. Now this is the book of 2nd Esdras, and if you do, like you said, you have to do your own research. This is something I want you to research. Research, or you can Google it, research Christopher Columbus and the book of Esdras, or Ezra. Esdras is the same Ezra that you read about in the Bible.
Right.
Esdras is the Greek way to say it. But Ezra actually had 4 books. You have the book of Nehemiah, the book of Ezra, and 1st and 2nd Esdras, which was taken out of the Bible in the 1700s by the Protestant church. But it's in the original King James Version. So this is something, if you research it, this is something that Christopher Columbus read before his ships set sail. Everybody thought he was crazy, because remember, they thought that the world was flat, and that if you kept going, that you're going to eventually fall off the face of the earth. But he said, no, there's something over there. And they said, how do you know? He said, Esdras said it. They said, Esdras is a Jew. He said, why would you listen to Esdras? Esdras is a Jew. He said, I still believe it. I want to find out. So let's see what Christopher Columbus himself read.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land.
So now he said the 10 tribes. Now when you look at the sign, what it's referring to is a historical period where the tribes split. You had the southern kingdom of Israel and the northern kingdom of Israel. They split. After King Solomon, and when his son took over, there was a split. So you have the 10 tribes, which we refer to as the northern kingdom, or what you call today the Hispanics. When you look at that sign, you see Simeon, you see Ephraim, you see Manasseh, you see Issachar. All those people left. And notice that all those people ended up on this side of the world because they left. So now we're reading the history of what happened when they left.
In the time of O.C., the king, whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters.
He said he carried those tribes over the waters where?
And so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
So they decided amongst themselves that they would leave from Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, and they're going to find their own land, right?
And go forth in a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Where what?
Where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. Before your forefathers were in Puerto Rico, no matter what anybody tries to tell you, there was nobody there before. You guys were the first.
I don't think that's going to fit.
That's why they call it right. They call it the New World. Nobody was over here before our forefathers came over here. Read.
Right, bring it out. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates.
So it's telling you where they went. So you have a map right there. It says they entered into Euphrates. So show them where Euphrates is on that map. Right here on the bottom. Euphrates. The river Euphrates right here, right? So it said they entered into Euphrates. Read.
So they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood.
So it said the Most High was and held still the flood. He calmed the water so that they could make their journey. Read.
Until they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go.
It says through that country to get where they were going, it said it was a great way to go. How far was it?
Namely, of a year and a half.
It said it was going to take them a year and a half to get where they were going.
And the same region is called Asaph.
It said that same land is called Asaph. This is Esdras. This was written during the Greek captivity. No, I'm sorry. Before that, hold this up. Hold that sound up real quick. So now it shows you. It said a year and a half. Where did they go from Euphrates? And came into the Americas. It said it was going to take them a year and a half. to get into the Americas. They said people got over here through the Bering Strait, which means that it was frozen, and they walked over here, which cannot be proven. That's a theory. They actually sailed around Africa and came into the United States. Now it said, and I got you 1 second, it said that same region is called Arsarit. Now Arsarit, when you look it up in the Jewish dictionary of the Bible, what the Jews are talking about, it says here, I have it, says, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of restoration. According to Forrest Esdras, which is just what we just read, Columbus identified America with this land. So it said Columbus knew who he was when he came over here. He knew what was over here. That's who we are today. That's America's biggest secret. That's what they don't want us to know. They tell us that what? We're niggers, we're spics. When they came over here, they said you guys were, and when they came over to Puerto Rico, they said you guys were savages. That's the word they used, Indians. They said you guys were savages. But it was recorded that they said when they went to Puerto Rico, they said they saw children playing with diamonds as if they were marbles. Diamonds as if they were marbles. Gold, precious stones.
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are Israelites. That's right.
It's so hard to serve God. And why when I say that I'm a Jew, it sound odd. For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.